Usually, if you're a photographer, there's settings that you do that will help you do your photo shoot or your wedding or whatever you're doing pretty well. So let's dive into my personal settings. These are actually my favorite and personal settings that I use every time I have to do a photo shoot. So yeah, let's dive straight into that. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode. This is Mr. Play Color right here. Thank you for tuning in on this channel. I share with you guys tips and tricks that can help you better or improve your game in the photography and videography world. Right, so today I just want to share with you guys my camera settings for Canon, and in this particular episode we are looking at the 6D Mark II. So if you didn't watch the previous video where I talked about this 6D Mark II, please feel free to go check out that video. It's okay. So here we are. This is the menu system of the camera. Image quality, now this is a bit subjective because it depends on what kind of situation you're looking at, but if I'm not shooting raw, which I am a bit selective, I don't shoot everything raw, unlike you know, some other people. So if I'm shooting, let's say a normal photo shoot, I might actually choose large, and the situations where I need to shoot raw, I will turn this and bring it to raw. But also you have to be mindful of how much space you have on your card. If you don't have enough space, then I wouldn't recommend you to actually go completely raw. You need to have maybe medium raw, yeah, which is still decent, but yeah, I will go raw and also choose large JPEG. Yeah, so that is it for the size to shoot. Okay, and then image review, this I'll leave it at 2 seconds. Release shutter without a card, for me I leave it on. Why? Because sometimes it helps me just to preview so I can see maybe my settings even if I haven't put a card into the camera. So yeah, I usually leave that at that. These I don't tamper with the rest of these, so let's go to the other section. Yeah, the white balance here, most of the time I shoot Kelvin. Yeah, I shoot here in the manual in Kelvin, and when I go inside here, I like to shoot 5000. For me, that's my default. It doesn't matter which shoot I'm doing. Usually my Kelvin is at 5000. Yeah, that is for the most part. So yeah, that's where I start with, but it depends also on the day. You don't have to be rigid about this. It really also depends on the time of day or the mood you're shooting. You can always change this and take it maybe higher, or but I never shoot by default anywhere under 5000. Yeah, unless maybe I'm in a place and it's too warm, then maybe I can take it down a bit. But yeah, for the most part I am happy with 5000, and I can do everything else in post, yeah, in the editing. Yeah, so I'll say okay on that. Custom white balance, no, of course. Yeah, let's go to picture style. This one is very important, guys. For me, I used to shoot landscape, and what I would do with landscape, I would come into info to edit the details a bit, and I'll take down this contrast, yeah, all the way to 0. But nowadays I prefer to shoot standard, and I'll tell you why. Okay, let's first go to landscape. Landscape is a very good profile or picture style to shoot with. It's just that it creates too much blues in even white things which are meant to be white. That's why I sometimes don't like to shoot this landscape. Yeah, I used to shoot it for the most part. Yeah, it gives you those really lovely colors straight out of the camera, but that's the downside, because most of the time I love to get my white as white, and yet for it, because it's trying to enhance, it's meant for landscapes, it thinks that every white part is maybe the sky, so it will add in those unnecessary blues. Yeah, no, and then you're editing people's white shirts and kanzus and they are looking a little bit bluish, especially when you turn down the highlights. I think most of you, the Canon users here in Uganda, you know these things that I'm talking about. Makanzu g'abantu mugafuula blue. So that's the issue with the landscape. Yeah, but overall it gives you vibrant colors. But let me take you, for me now I shoot standard. So, but also this standard, I go into the details, and then I will fine tune some of these things, like the contrast. I bring it down, yeah, all the way down, and then the saturation I leave it there, and then the color tone I also leave it there. It's basically the contrast that I reduce. These others I don't really bother with them, because I can really I can retouch these when I'm in Photoshop or in Lightroom. So yeah, just the contrast is what I take down all the way. I think you guys have seen that. Yeah, so for the picture style, that is what I do. Let's see. Yeah, these others are really okay. Aspect ratio, that is 3.3 to 2, which is the normal aspect ratio for our photos. But in a situation that you want to do like Instagram, you want to already crop your photos for Instagram, just come down here and choose 4:3. But let's just leave it at that, because you can still crop. Yeah, I think those are pretty much the basic settings, and you can also access those here with this Canon quick menu here, because this is a lot easier for people. I don't have a lens on here, that's why you see the f-stop here is on 00. There's no lens on the camera. The ISO, of course, for those of you who know, you want to keep it the lowest possible in all conditions, yeah, but you can be forced to bring it up depending on situation, but I don't have much to say about that. The shutter speed, 125, never go under 125th of a second, unless maybe you're on a tripod and you really have to. Yeah, okay, I think those are the basic kind of yeah, picture style is standard, temperature, and then maybe here auto selection, make this single point or 1 point AF, yeah, so that as you're shooting you can control this to move to wherever you might want it. Yeah, but I will leave this at single point, but there's these other options. There's sport AF, yeah, there's also 1 point, there's also zone AF, but these ones I usually would leave it at 1 point. Even sport is okay. 1 point for me is yeah, is the option that I would go with. And then metering mode, this is evaluative. I don't know, some of you guys don't know about these metering modes, but it's basically how the camera figures what settings would be correct, yeah, for your camera. So yeah, but for the metering mode, I would use mostly spot metering or center weighted. You can choose any of these two, it doesn't matter that much, because at the same time you can you can meter, you shoot, and then review your image and see for yourself whether it's well exposed. So spot metering is my go-to as a default, but even center weighted is okay. So yeah, I'll leave this to spot metering. This is here it's mostly on single shooting, but this is really dependent on whether you are, let's say, shooting wildlife, if you're shooting like sports, you know, or wildlife. Yeah, high speed continuous is for fast action, you know. And by the way, mwe guy, you don't read these things. Naye buno buntu buyambako obusoma buno buku guidinga. Yeah, but this is high speed continuous if you're shooting like fast action and things like that. Yeah, but single is okay. You take one shot at a time. This works well if you're doing like portraits and things like that. So I think for me that this works just fine. Okay, yeah, I think we are pretty much done with these controls. Those are the basic settings that I use for my Canon cameras. Right now I shoot with the R8, and I will be honest, these settings haven't really changed. They are the same. Yeah, don't tamper with this white balance bracketing, please. And by the way, I recommend you guys, whenever you go to hire a camera, if you go to hire a camera from these guys who hire or rent cameras to us, please do always remember to reset your camera to factory. Because you finding a guy yagenze mu bracketing n'atambuza ebintu n'abitwala eno mu green, temperature n'azizanyisa ogenda okuba ebifaananyi tobitegeera. So it's very important that you always reset, or you say clear all. So this should be in center so that you get the most natural looking, you know, picture straight from your camera. I know, let me just go back here to this section of RAW versus JPEG. You guys, you don't always have to shoot RAW. It is not a crime. Because some of you professional photographers, mugamba, me I always shoot RAW, but sometimes you can shoot JPEG. You have to judge the situation. Let me give you an example. This camera has Bluetooth. Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. It has Wi-Fi, and you can connect your smartphone to this camera. So in a situation that you need to share instant images, you're going to, raw photos are not going to be, you won't share them with clients just like that. So that's why you need JPEG, okay? If you're to shoot RAW, maybe you shoot also medium. If you're to shoot both RAW and JPEG, maybe you can go with medium so that you don't run out your card very fast. But if you're doing absolutely professional work like magazine style photo shoots and things like that, you cannot joke with that. Just go ahead and shoot RAW, okay? You can have both options. There's nothing wrong. But yeah, you have to shoot RAW for that. If you're shooting maybe your family birthday, things like that, you don't need to shoot RAW, honestly. Just shoot photos that you can even share immediately. So for me, that would be the recommendation for these kind of settings. Yeah, I think I want to end this video right here. If you have any further questions on the settings you can use, please let me know. Yeah, otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Keep creating, and yeah, see you. Bye.